film opens with a man named Will Sharp, a retired United States Army soldier. That morning, he was seen calling the state insurance office to take care of his wife's cancer surgery costs. But the insurance refused to help for no apparent reason. They just said the type of illness his wife was suffering from was not included in the list of insurance coverage. Hearing that, he was very disappointed. He served in the Army for many years, risking their lives to defend their country. Now he feels abandoned so that his wife does not worry. He is forced to lie if his insurance is approved. He then went to the house of his brother Danny, who was different from Will as a soldier. Danny is a wanted bank robber in Los Angeles. Their father was a robber, so Danny was taught how to rob from childhood, while Will prefers to live a normal life serving the country. After telling his condition, Will begs Danny to lend him some money, but even though he is his brother, he doesn't want to help. He offers a deal.
First Federal downtown, 32 million. I have this wire.
No, jeez.
It's ours, Danny. 4 inside, 1 driver.
Listen to that, all right?
Who is this guy?
What? That's my brother, Will.
He will help pay for Will's wife's treatment until she fully recovers, provided that his brother also wants to help Rob with his gang. It has been months here, and they're looking for a loan, but to no avail. Will, who had no other choice, eventually couldn't help but agree. On the other side is a female ambulance officer named Cam Thompson, and her partner, EMT Scott, is on his way to the car accident scene. Arriving at the crime scene, Cam immediately helped the kid victim of a traffic accident whose conditions were quite severe. Her body is impregnated with iron and cannot be removed carelessly. The officer had to cut the iron from behind while Cam tried to calm her. The rescue process went smoothly. The child survived and was taken to the hospital. At lunch, Cam's colleague told her that he had received news that the condition of the child they had helped had started to improve. But Cam's expression doesn't seem to care. For her, helping people is just a job. Her partner was confused. How can a heartless woman like Cam want to be an ambulance officer who must help dozens of people daily? Danny and a gang of robbers at the bank are carrying out their actions. After turning off the building's CCTV, they rushed in, taking over the entire building in minutes. Not long after that, a policeman named Zach came. To avoid suspicion, Danny pretended to be a bank manager and said the bank was closed that day. But Zach kept insisting that he wanted to go in to meet his girlfriend, who worked as a bank clerk there. Eventually, he had to let him in. When he was about to chat with his girlfriend, from behind, Danny pointed a gun. He told Zach to wave at his fellow cop, Mark, who was waiting outside, to signal that the bank conditions were okay.
$32 million, guys. It's all yours. Please take it. We don't want any problems.
Hey, work fast. I was giving it to the Taliban.
Baby cakes, kiss the kids. I gotta go now.
Let's go, let's go!
Mandazo, it's time to party, brother.
From outside, when he saw Zach's suspicious movements, Mark, as a policeman, immediately realized that his partner was in danger. To deal with the armed robbers, a SWAT team was deployed. All of Danny's men are dead.
Where's Mandazo? Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Now only Danny and Will were left. They try to escape through the basement while taking Zach as a hostage. In the middle of the road, Zach tries to fight back by attacking Danny. Will panics and shoots Zach, who is so badly injured. He was very sorry, and he helped him. As things get worse, Danny tells Will to leave Zach and rush away. On the other hand, Mark and the cops from Los Angeles enter the bank building to look for Zach's whereabouts. In the basement, when Mark found out his best friend was seriously injured, he shouted for help. When Cam arrived at the crime scene, she heard a scream from Mark. Without permission from the police, Cam immediately barged inside. After putting Zach into the ambulance, Cam kept trying hard to wake him up. Elsewhere, Will and Danny are still looking for a way to escape the police until the ambulance comes. Danny immediately confronted and then hijacked the ambulance. They attacked Scott and then took him out of the car. Just in case, they then took Cam hostage.
On it, Rooney.
Cops.
At the exit, it turned out that there were a lot of police blocking, but they managed to escape without being suspected.
I got a cop shot. We gotta go. Move your cars. We gotta get him to the hospital. Move. Let me do my job. What are you doing? Go!
All right, let's go.
After they escape, Mark finds Scott on the floor in the basement, who informs him that the robbers have stolen the ambulance. So Mark immediately informs the officers, but it is too late. When leaving the building, a SWAT team leader named Captain Monroe arrives. He tries to calm Mark down and promises that his team will save his partner before sunset. After that, he deployed a police helicopter to chase the ambulance. Meanwhile, when Cam sees a fire extinguisher in the ambulance, she gets an idea. When Will and Danny are off guard, she sprays them and then runs out, but unfortunately, the plan failed.
Hey! Don't you move!
Stop it!
Amid that tension, Zach suddenly convulsed. Will then begs Cam to go back inside to help Zach. After a long wait for news, the police helicopter finally reports the location of the ambulance that Danny hijacked has been found. Monroe orders his team, including Mark, to chase the ambulance and asks the head office to increase the helicopter fleet not to lose track. In the ambulance, Zach's condition seems to be getting worse. Cam and Danny help each other put on medical equipment while Will drives away from the police. Luckily, after various attempts were made, Zach was saved.
Enough time to ditch and run.
Danny then calls one of his friends, Poppy. He is the head of one of the city's mafia gangs, so Danny asks him to save him from this trouble in exchange for paying $8 million. Because Poppy is also a former robber, he understands how Danny is now. Without asking much, he agreed to help. They then made an appointment to meet under the city bridge. After that, while the ambulance is being chased by the police forces, Danny calls one of his friends named Castro and asks him to go under the bridge and bring a blue spray with him. Meanwhile, Monroe asked headquarters to connect the walkie-talkie. With the walkie-talkie in the ambulance, he tells Danny to give up, saying that his escape attempt was in vain and that he would sooner or later be caught. Danny shouts angrily, saying he is America's greatest robber and that a small problem like this couldn't make him give up.
A bunch of blocks around the convention center. It looks like that.
When the situation calms down, Cam sees blood dripping from Zach's body. He tells Danny that Zach's condition is dying. He needs surgery immediately to remove the bullet from his body, but she is just an ambulance attendant. The three of them were forced to contact the hospital doctor and asked to be directed how to do the surgery step by step. He then asked Danny to replace him so he can help Cam perform the surgery. Through video call, the doctor directs Cam to remove the bullet from the spleen slowly. However, removing the bullet can only be done for 60 seconds. If it takes more than 60 seconds, then Zach's spleen will burst. Zach eventually survives even though his spleen is ruptured. Before Monroe joins the other cops to chase Danny, an FBI agent named Anson Clark approaches him. He wanted to join the chase because he knew much about Danny and felt the information would be useful. Clark informed that Danny is not just an ordinary robber based on a criminal record. Still, he's also a dangerous criminal the FBI has been chasing for a long time. He emphasizes that to catch Danny, he needs a special technique. Clark suggests that Monroe has to change his vehicle once every half hour, so Danny doesn't know where he is or who wants to change cars. He got word from the hospital doctor who Cam called earlier. The doctor tells what happened in the ambulance because Zach's spleen ruptured and the video connection was cut off. The doctor thought Cam's operation failed. He heard about that. He was in shock, and with a heavy heart, he declared Zach dead. Monroe angrily ordered all his men not to hold back anymore. They were all allowed to execute Danny on the spot. Clark, worried, called Cam and told her to duck down to avoid sniper fire. Just a few seconds before shoots, Clark learns from Cam that Zach is still alive. So he prevents the snipers from continuing to fire with quick notice. However, with anger, Danny blames Monroe for the attack and warns that he will stop at nothing to kill Cam. The chase continues. In the ambulance, when things calm down, it looks like Zach is starting to bleed. When he discovers his blood type is the same as Will, he then agrees to donate blood. At that moment, Cam was seeing a good-hearted criminal for the first time. There, Will told her that he was forced to rob to pay for his wife's cancer surgery. If from the beginning the government dispersed the insurance money, that was their right. Hours passed and they were still trying to escape from the police as they hoped to reach the location of the agreement soon.
I want you to be real aggressive. Drop down and buzz him. Chase him out of there.
Sure you want to do that?
Danny told Will to take the gas faster to get some distance from the police car behind. After quite a distance, they eventually arrived. There, Castro painted the ambulance as fast as he could. At the same time, Poppy's men arrived with some ambulances to distract the police forces. On the other hand, Monroe ordered all the police forces to storm together, and suddenly they noticed that a suspicious car was approaching them. It turns out that Poppy's son Roberto put a replica with a machine gun inside the vehicle in a deadly plan. Deadly shooting starts, and a large number of police forces are killed and wounded after the explosion. Meanwhile, Mark, who saw Roberto, ran away. He immediately gave chase and managed to catch him, but the consequences continued to fight, and Roberto was killed. Watch the news of his son's death on TV. Angry Poppy could only cry. Since Will is also a professional driver, he manages to escape in a highway chase with high skill. Sometime later, they arrived at Poppy's headquarters. Before entering, Will tells Cam not to get out of the car, no matter what. After Will leaves, Zach wakes up. He then told Cam to take the gun in his shoe just in case. After that, Danny pays Poppy the money and expresses his condolences for the death of his son, but Poppy did not accept. He felt that $8 million was not worth the life of his beloved son. For him, life must be paid with life. The police have killed his son, so instead, he's going to kill Zach and Cam. Danny agrees to make a deal with him. Still, Will doesn't want more people to be killed. So during his argument with his brother, he says, as a soldier who has always defended the country, I can't let innocent people be victims. Even though Danny had warned him to obey and not to get into trouble with Poppy, he refused out of anger. Poppy then orders his men to kill Will.
Just calm down. It breaks my heart.
Don't be sad, Danny.
We should just go left together. Go left.
Go left. He's my real brother!
Amid the chaos, when Will opens the ambulance door, Cam, who is scared, instantly reflexively shoots Will, and Danny sees his brother get shot. He panicked and hit the gas as fast as he could to the hospital. There, Danny doesn't know that Cam shot his brother and thinks Poppy's men on the road shot Will while Cam was trying to stop Will's bleeding. While the badly injured, Will pulls out a wad of money and orders Cam to deliver the money to his wife. Behind, the police again chase them until arriving at the hospital when the ambulance stops. The police flock to surround him while moving backward to check Will's condition. Danny is shocked when he notices the gun and thinks that Zach shot his brother. However, Cam reveals that she was the one who accidentally shot Will. She apologizes because the situation at Poppy's headquarters earlier was terrifying, but Danny is furious. Now his position was cornered by the police siege, and he could no longer escape. So Danny planned to have Cam die with him. On the other hand, he knew if he got out of this ambulance, he would be shot dead by a sniper. That's why he's going to shoot the Cam head in front of everyone and get all over the TV media as a sign that he's America's greatest criminal. Danny had completely lost his mind. He slowly opened the ambulance door and started the countdown. But when he wanted to shoot the head of the Cam, suddenly, to stop all his brother's crimes, the little brother who aspires to be a defender of the truth must kill his beloved brother. From a distance, Will's wife came. She screamed hysterically, calling her husband's name. Heard the scream, Cam stood up and said her job as an ambulance attendant wasn't done yet. She tells Mark that Will saved his friend Zach and asks him to help bring Will to the hospital. Mark, who refuses to help at first, hears it and helps Cam take Will to the hospital. Cam's task is finished after Will is taken to the hospital. She then went to Will's wife and quietly put money from Will into her bag. After that, Cam visited the child she had saved this morning, holding her hand tightly and comforting her. Today's events taught Cam a lot of lessons. Now she understands that helping people is not just a job requirement, but helping people is a human demand. In Zach's room, when Mark asked him to testify, Zach pointed to Will's photo and said, "He has saved my life."